Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Hello, good morning, beautiful people of Nigeria and of course the world. Now, yesterday, it got heated up here in the studio because we were talking about matters arising. And of course, we had an APC member in the house. And today, he is still in the house. He had to come back to continue with matters arising second because of what came up yesterday. And now it's no longer news that the mess got missing or got stolen from the National Assembly. It's no longer news that the president have declared coming back for second term. And of course, the one that surfaced online yesterday, that our president said the youth are actually lazy. So you sit back. These are all we have to deal with today. And of course, we still have Malam Ibrahim in the studio. Let's remember again, he's contesting for senatorial position. And you said Kogi Central. So being an APC member, I don't know what your view or your thoughts are. I just employ you to just sit back and then let's see how it gets today. And of course, your feeds and your contributions. We have our social media handles written on the screen. And of course, our lines will be open for a call shortly when we come back for the second break. Do stay with us. I still remain your host, Uche Uduma. We come back.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
All right, welcome back from that short break. Shortly, sir, yesterday, you started giving out justifications why Mr. President should come back again. And of course, we were just able to deal with security part of it and the employment part. I don't know. I would want us to wrap up with that so that we can go over to another thing.
Like I was telling you yesterday, that we do have a capacity problem which the present government is trying to resolve. It's not something you can do now. It's going to take a period of time. We are also trying to leave a master plan, as you can see. If you read the dailies, you see that there are so many wonderful plans the government is putting in place, and they hope subsequent governments, regimes, as it may be over time, will follow suit and we can get to the destination we want to be. As regarding employment, we learn to employ ourselves individually. The most developed countries in the world today do not rely or wait for government to employ all the youths. Entrepreneurial skills are extremely important. Small scale industries, 1, 2, 3 people sitting down together thinking on the right thing to do. We can't all sit and wait. We can't wait for the government to give us solution to our daily problem. We also have to contribute our quota to the daily problems that we are also giving the country. So it is our duty as individuals to sit and think on how we want to better our life. What the government needs to do, which it is doing, is to provide security. When you have peace, you can think well.
And to your own explanations, we have the adequate security we need as a country. Yeah?
You will have to please do understand what I said from the beginning. We have a capacity problem. Right now we have a wonderful environment compared to what we used to have before. Not to know what happened before one was born is always remain a child. We all do know what happened 4 or 5 years ago, and we know where we are today. Let's take advantage of the positive environment we have found ourselves now and move ahead. Let's stop thinking negatively. Let's not sit on the couch and keep thinking negatively. No, it won't take us anywhere.
All right, now let's move straight on to the economy.
Yes.
Now, look at where we are as a nation in our economy. What are your thoughts? Are you going to say that Mr. President has done very, very well in improving the economy of Nigeria?
You will need to go to Say market to have a wonderful understanding of what I'm going to tell you. There was a period in time in this country, people were spending dollars on the streets of Nigeria. Yes, you go to Nikon, you need to pay in dollar. You had secondary school in Abuja, you had to pay in dollar. And people were equating that to how the economy was doing good. No, that's just a few people. When you talk of the economy, let's go back to the average common man who lives in the village.
Of course.
Because almost all the food me and you eat is being produced. The food is being produced by the people in the village. So the effect of excess production is what me and you can equally enjoy in the city, which will result in the building of industries. When last did you go to Kaduna? All I'm just build an industry on your way if you are going to Kaduna. You know what that means? That we have had excess production of grain, and we can now also, beyond eating with our physical mouth, produce for industries to consume leftovers. That means jobs have been created. If the economy is not good, you can't create jobs. If the economy is not good, agricultural produce as we have today will not increase. I don't want you to look at the economy based on the house rent that me and you pay in Abuja.
We are really not talking about
or based on certain indices that you read on Facebook. No. Look at the economy from the average man's perspective.
Right now, what is the price of dollar right now?
Good. I'm so happy you're asking me this question. First and foremost, dollar is the currency we use to do international business. How do we get dollar? We sell crude oil in the international market. The volume of oil we sell will determine the volume of dollar we get. The price of oil will also determine the price of dollar we get. That is the major export. I'm getting somewhere.
Okay.
That is the major export product we do have.
Okay.
So if you sell 2 million barrels at $120, you can do the calculation. If we sell the same 2 million barrels at $30, you can do the calculation. So it is this same volume of oil you sell that produces the dollar you use to do everything that you do. Now we have drop in the volume of dollar that we get. We don't print dollar. It's not our legal tender.
Why is it that dollar was actually
I'm taking you
down before this administration came up? And ever since the surface, we have not had a crash of dollar when it has to do with the price coming down.
I am trying to explain something to you. I really hope you will understand what I am saying. If we were selling crude oil 120 and we were selling 2 million barrels, do the maths. If we are selling the same crude oil at $30 a barrel, now thank God it's going up. When this government came in, it was next to nothing. It means, look at what you are wearing. Look at what I'm wearing. These things are not manufactured in Nigeria. Have you ever asked yourself, how do we get to buy these things? You might buy them in Naira, but they are originally bought in dollars. because they are being imported into Nigeria. It means for you to buy this, the government has to pay in dollar the person that will ship this thing from whichever country it is going to come to Nigeria.
So your justification for the price of dollar, or the reason why dollar haven't really come down the way it's supposed to be, is because there is a crash in crude oil, business, or what?
It's common sense that what you do not produce, you do not control.
Okay, now the question is, why are we still exporting our crude, to get fuel into the country? Because if you are giving a justification why this government has done well, there should be some reformations that other people have failed to carry on or to carry out. So why are we still taking our raw from here? We pay duties to export it outside, and then we pay to get it imported into the country again.
Before the coming of this wonderful administration of APC, the refineries were comatose, they were virtually not working. Turnaround maintenance is not something that you do in 1 or 2 days. Now you have a wonderful person in the person of President Buhari who has given licenses for modular refineries. They are smaller form of refineries. You don't build them overnight. It's a carryover of the capacity problem I told you from the beginning. If we had built on the refineries the same Mr. President built before, we would not be where we are today. You have to take into cognizance that we did not come today and we found ourselves where we are because everything failed today.
Can we do some calculations here now?
Please.
Now, calculate how much we used to export these things out. Of course, we still pay for refining, and then we import back into the country.
Yes.
Now, the monies we spend doing that, is it not enough to, bring up a standard refinery in Nigeria that could take care of that?
There's nowhere in the world
that is functional.
There's nowhere in the world people are building a whole city like we did in the name of refineries right now. That's why I'm telling you about modular refineries. The world is changing. Everything is gone nano. Look at your studio. You don't have to build like you have in Kaduna, like you have in Port Harcourt. Licenses have been given out. These things cannot happen overnight.
So that's why he needs extra years.
Beyond needing extra years, we are praying to God that we can keep having wonderful people like him to keep on the good work after his 8 years.
Okay, I wanted to ask if, of course, you are being very, very, optimistic.
Yes.
That it would work.
Yes.
All right, but
yes.
I'll let's come in as a neutral person
No
to ask. Peradventure it does not work. Are we sure of continuity of this work?
Do me a favor, think positive.
Yes.
We need to think positive.
Now, your thought.
Yes.
Can't be my thought.
No, it can't.
I'm not a party.
I have been saying one thing from the beginning.
I should not be, partisan right now.
I've been saying one thing from the beginning. I want Nigerians to think in a positive manner. There is energy and power in positive thinking.
Now, your own kind of positive thinking is you want all Nigerians to actually think along with you that the president should come back.
Definitely.
Man, you have how many millions of people there, and they have right to choice or right to what their thoughts should be like.
Democracy is a game of numbers. There's nowhere in the world where people have won election in real democratic settings 100%. We do not expect every right-thinking person to vote for us. That would be like totalitarian regime. We are sure we are doing the right thing, we are on the right path, and the base, like I said yesterday, who understands the nitty-gritty of what needs to be done, that we are doing in this government, will always stand with us. We are not saying we want every member of the society, the PDP, to come and vote. We are not forcing people. We are telling them to use their conscience, to judge themselves.
That is, if they are justified by themselves or with their conscience that this administration has done well.
In the positive manner. We hope they will think in positive. I keep telling you one thing.
We are saying the same thing.
We hope and pray the positivity in human nature will bring out itself in 2019.
All right. So on a wrap,
yes,
from you,
yes,
the president has done well.
Doing very well.
Commendably well to come back
Extremely
again.
doing well.
I don't know what you feel, but you can send us your thoughts on our social media handles, of course, that and the ones that will be rolling on the screen. Now, I want us to touch about the mess.
Okay.
In a democratic setting like ours, now with the way that you said the president have done well when it has to do with security, of course, on the average, it depends on the mark you give him. Now, he has done well, security-wise.
Very well.
How come we have people boycott security checkpoints again to go into the Senate? We're not talking about Dapchi school girls. We're not talking about Chibok girls. There are some schools on the road that is easily accessible. What happened? What happened to all the security checkpoints you have? You know, you going to the National Assembly. You know, I know. How were these folks able to maneuver the security checks and get into the Senate?
I don't know when last you found yourself going to the National Assembly. They have a wonderful security system there. And when you have security operatives investigating an issue, you don't preempt or judge, you can assume. And in my own case, assumption is not in my diary because that is not realistic.
But it's something we need to talk about.
I am sure as they dig, we will understand. And hopefully we will appreciate on what their findings will be, and then we can build on that. But for me to come and start telling you here that I do know, or I'm going to assume it's X, Y, Z, and they got into the National Assembly. Look, the National Assembly is our property, all of us. Those people could have gotten in like every other normal person like me and you. They did not go in with guns.
Sir, the question remains, how did they find their way to
that
the
is
National Assembly?
that is the work
That's
of the security agents. That is why they are going to investigate. You will see after this, you will discover that more stringent rules will come out on how you will enter the National Assembly.
Okay, now you don't want to talk about how they get.
I do not know it.
There is no problem.
Yes.
Now, is it right for them to have done that?
What is wrong is wrong.
Okay.
And nobody wants his property. Even you, as an individual, you don't want anything that belongs to you to be seized by thugs.
There is no problem.
If thugs have found a way to go seize the maize, that's an offense. And I can assure you, you have a government that believes in the rule of law. People will be punished based on certain actions they have taken.
We'll be going for a short break now. We have some calls coming in, so we'll be able to take your calls shortly. Please stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays.
Alright, welcome back from that short break, and still on. We are still talking about how thugs were able to go into the Senate and take away our mess. Now, sir, it's very obvious you of course, a politician. I don't want to say want to politicize it, alright? But like we were saying before we went on break, you said what is good, what is bad.
Exactly.
Now, will your thoughts or will your stand on not trying to talk about the security still be the same if the reverse is the case? Let's say we have a PDP member, at the helm of affairs. Will the opposition still be the same thing?
You see, talking about this thug issue, who is a thug? There is nobody that has an inscription on the forehead. Thug. Nobody. And it's a crime against humanity to see somebody and assume he's a thug.
Really?
Yes, it's a crime to just see
can
somebody.
Can a normal person, in its right senses, do what those people are able to
trying
do?
to explain.
I don't want to use the word thug.
Yes. You see, if a person decides to dress well, because from what we saw on the TV, they were well dressed. They were not wearing ass-down jeans, wearing sneakers or pickups behind. They were well dressed like every other normal person. The intent and intention of a man is known to him alone, and a few he might have shared it with. If in the process of sharing, it is not so widespread to the extent that the security agencies will have an ear to understanding what will happen, you cannot see somebody walking who has such an intent going into a wonderful place like the National Assembly and stop him. You can only assume, I wish I had known. That's history. So let's not do wishful thinking about the whole issue.
Now the senator involved here, Senator Omagege.
Yes.
Which party does he belong to?
He was a Labour Party and then he came to APC.
Sorry, can we just take this call
yes.
now? All right, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja. My name is Jinka.
Okay. What's your contribution on the program?
My contribution is that why would our president cannot have
We are still coming to that, sir. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. And we have an APC member here to answer all your questions. Oh, hold on. Sir, can you take on
his
onto
question,
this?
please?
His question is, why would our president say that the youths are not hardworking?
I really find this interesting. Why my colleagues, the youths, will take things out of proportion. I sincerely believe certain things have been taken out of proportion. You cannot take a phrase in a whole long statement and make it the subject matter. In the same process, as I talk to you, Mr. President has gotten $15 billion investment in the same place for Nigeria. Why have that gone under the table? It is this investment that will benefit the same youths.
Can you hold on, please?
Not supposed to contest for 2019 election. Because remember when Mr. President, when he was the minister, we know how old it is. That how many ministers do we have now that is huge? Everybody in this cabinet, they are old people. They know the children in the cabinet. And they are still coming back and they are telling us they are the future, they are the leaders of tomorrow. And up to now, we are not seeing anything that will make us the leaders of tomorrow.
Okay, now, I just want to straighten up this now. His justification is he wants to know whether the comment Mr. President made, whether it's out of phrase or out of context. The truth is that comment was made. Is it justifiable? Is it right for him to have said that?
I told you something.
Regardless.
No. You see, some of us, I might not be an academician, but I think I'm well read. And I still read a lot. You cannot take a phrase from a very long statement and make it a subject matter. Even in law, that will not work. You will have to take the context of the whole to get to where you are going to.
Not all Nigerians are lawyers.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm just trying to make you understand that wishful thinking, we are so used to negative thoughts and analysis and wishful thinking that sometimes even a well-intentioned statement can be taken in the wrong manner.
Was this a well-intentioned
You never can tell the heart of a man. I can assure you this was a wonderful, well-intentioned statement.
So these were words that were thrown out.
This is a well-intentioned statement that people are getting. This is the same in the same place. If you tell me no country will come and invest, no company will come and invest, no firm will come and invest in your country if you have youths that are not going to be able to hold the investment. If you say Mr. President made this statement and in the same place you have one of the best companies in the world telling us they are coming to invest $15 billion, the youth should be jubilating that jobs are coming.
The question is, why would this statement be made at the first place?
You see,
this statement was made outside Nigeria.
This is,
and
I am telling you.
If you are a leader of Nigeria, should be able to hold down, your own place. You don't, let me go by the literal stuff we used to hear. You don't wash your dirty linens outside. Now, what do you think these words, I don't want to use negative words, it's up to you, because what you think about it is different from what every other person thinks about it. What do you think is going to be the effect of the statement? Whether it's been blown out of proportion, but the truth is these words were said.
Okay, the first major effect the purported statement have made is giving us $15 billion.
It wasn't the statement that brought the $15 million.
It's in the same place, the statements. You see, let's try to compartmentalize what you are saying. Okay. One, the local environment. Two, the international environment. And in what context do you want to look at this statement? Okay. Is it in the context of people who have free, cheap, easy data and want to just text? Let's get job to do. Let's get, if most of us are really engaged in the way we should be engaged,
then Nigerians should just overlook the fact that their president said that their youth are lazy.
It's so interesting how we have busy. Let's get busy and do something with our life. Let's get busy and stop WhatsApping, Facebook, Twitter about things that we can. I can assure you, 2 days, it's gone. That's Nigeria for you.
But the question is, why should it be said?
It's not issue of.
The question.
I said.
And then another question that the youth are asking is, what has it done for the youth? Remember, these are link-up questions. Remember where we are coming from. You are giving no justification why he should come back again, and to your own knowledge, you said he has provided employment opportunities, or rather, Nigerians should not wait for the government to give them employment. They should get, gainfully employed by themselves. Find something to do.
As a result of the wonderful job the government has done in security matters.
Fine.
Yes.
Now, back to this. What has the president and the government, this present administration, done for the youth for them to go out, or him particularly, to say that the youth are lazy? Now, before you begin to judge someone, it's very possible it's just very logical that you have done some things, you've set some pace, but the people are not trying to meet up. How many youth do we have in Nigeria? Let's start with that.
We are looking at 60%.
How many of them are gainfully employed?
How many? You see, let me make you understand something.
Okay.
There's a concept in the head that we need to change.
Okay.
What do you mean gainfully employed? I told you something yesterday. Whatever you do for as long as it is legal, that pays your bill, that is your job. The guy who hawks on the street, that is his job.
Fine.
The guy who sells Indomie before I enter the office, that is his job. We need to start looking at people who take care of themselves, their bills, as working. We do not only have the right to think that unless you enter an office, you are not working.
But the truth is that those offices must be occupied by people.
I understand what I'm saying.
And I told you yesterday, it's not everybody that should go into business or something.
We can't all be in the office. This is this thing we have to remove from our head.
Let me ask you this question. Apart from the fact that, I remember yesterday, you talked about people making use of their social media
mobile, yes, their smartphones.
Fine. Now, for people that want to go into business, how accessible are funds for them? Because you cannot deny the fact that there are still people that want to go into business and they don't have the fund to go into these businesses. How accessible are these funds?
Please, I was talking to a young man outside the office yesterday who was telling me he could have started business with 100,000 5 years ago. Now 500,000 will not start business for him. And I made him understand something. When you want to start business, the first and most important thing is the idea. When you have the idea, then you can go to the next level.
Some people have the stages.
I started business without these funds you are talking about.
So that is you.
Why?
And that is the kind of business probably you went into.
There
are people that have legitimate businesses, but they don't have access to funds to even start. It's not all businesses that probably, I know social media is nice, right? But it's not, it's not all businesses that will just kickstart with your attention or your participation in social media.
I want to be honest with you. I have a smartphone. You have a smartphone. I'm not a Twitter, Facebook person. If you check the volume of data people use every day,
okay,
and you put it into weekly basis, monthly basis, it's humongous. People think for you to start a business, you must have 1, 2, 3, 4 million. Check Facebook. How did it start? Basement. Check Apple. How did it start? Basement. We should not start thinking that for you to start a business, you must have one huge office. No. I am going to tell you something that really interests me, which is me. I started this business by sitting on a seat under the tree.
Sir, when you walk into the street, let's start with Abuja, for example.
Yes.
When you walk out from here and you hit the streets of Abuja,
yes,
you discover that so many people, you see some people that are hawking, like you said.
Yes.
Some are busy
yes.
doing some businesses,
yes.
like telephone business.
Yes.
If you go to Computer Village, and most people you see that they are youth.
Yes.
The same youth are struggling to go to school to become better persons when they
yes.
are out. The same fraction of youths are busy doing some menial jobs just to keep up their needs to be met. Now, how justifiable should that statement be that the youths are lazy?
I still stand.
That remains our question.
I still stand by the fact that you cannot take a whole statement, just a statement, a phrase, in a whole word. The story will not be told in the right way.
All right, now, from your own end, what is the conceptual meaning of the statement he made?
I see Mr. President telling us to wake up and do what we should do.
Okay,
that's what I see.
And that was the right words to use.
No. You cannot infer in this case whether the words he used were right or wrong.
Why?
No. Because this is inference now.
Sir, this is Nigeria you're talking about.
I'm not surprised. You know, this is what we call wishful thinking.
And it was addressed to Nigerian youth. This is not wishful thinking. These were words thrown out.
What I'm trying to say is, we don't want to hear someone telling us that we should wake up in whatever language it is.
That should have been
whether
addressed
it's in Ibera, Hausa, English, or Yoruba.
Sir, that should have been addressed in the country. And there are means of addressing these issues. You don't just wake up to say, okay, the youths are not gainfully employed or whatever, or the youth are very lazy. That is why they are crying on all that. Now, I asked you a question, and the question is, what is the incentive? I'm not talking about money now.
Yes.
I'm talking about encouragement you have given to this youth.
The encouragement the youth have gotten?
Yes.
First and
from
foremost,
Mr. President himself.
First and foremost, I told you something. Look at a system. Yesterday I told you, I said, look at a system. Don't look at individuals. You keep saying, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. Look at a system. This same Mr. President is trying to build a system for you where you can, for the rest of your life, have wonderful environment, where the youths can be happy. A wonderful man called...
If I will use your words,
yes,
and I'll throw it back to you, that is called wishful thinking, because it has not materialized. Remember, you told me that we should not be
always
looking at wishful thinking and all that. So what you are doing now, or you are talking about right now, is wishful thinking.
I told you something
because
yesterday.
Because it has not come to fruition.
No. I told you something yesterday. I said, country is infinite. It's not definite. It's a continuum. It's a continuous process. You don't expect... This is not like putting salt and water to make salt water sugar solution. No. It's a process. And we should be happy. This is the first time we have a president who is not thinking of building a new extra house, who is not thinking of building something. He's not thinking of buying. We have somebody who is thinking of Nigeria for God's sake.
You wouldn't be sure about that until he steps out of the office. If he has some houses somewhere, would he make it known? How would you know until it's out?
But
hold on, we'll go for a short break now. We'll come back and continue with this. We have some calls to take. Stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
The administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history,
it's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? we are just from the background, and today we are here in TSTV, and that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets. Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history,
it's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background, and today we are here in TSTV, and that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Okay, we're back again, and sorry we missed your calls, so but you can call in now. We'll be able to take your calls right now. So sir, back to you. We are still talking about our president's comment over the youth, and before we went on a break, I was trying to give you analysis of this youth. All right, now you cannot take away the fact that there are some fractions of people that you can say they are lazy, people that sit at home doing nothing. But I'm just saying, it's not just being gainfully employed, like you've gone to school and all that. There are people's youth scattered all over, trying to make ends meet. And I remember I asked, for those of them that actually have ideas, like you said, they've passed through the process of trying to bring up a business, but they don't have access to these funds to start up. And the federal government, you said I shouldn't call Mr. President, of course.
Yes.
And the government itself have not come in to say, okay, these are, our help, out to you as youth. And I remember I asked, what significantly can you say that this government has done for the youth to warrant such statements?
I'm a businessman.
And you're a politician.
And a politician and contesting election. The issue is I'm also very well traveled and very well read. I told you something yesterday when I came, that there's a little confusion in the mind of the average person on the street. You want to do business and you live in Nigeria, but you think in America. You live in Nigeria, you think in London. The business you want to do, you watch TV, this is beautiful, and you want to do something like this. The nature and structure of funding for business anywhere in the world is not from any government. Business is a private thing. Now you are talking of employment. Why do you insist and emphasize employment? Because that can reduce the level of insecurity. I hope you know so many banks in Nigeria have been saved by the government.
Which of the governments now?
Of course, this present government. If not, some banks would have gone under.
How?
When this government came in, there were banks you will go to, you will not be able to get money.
Let's remember again that when this government came in, we saw the high rate that people lost their jobs. You're talking about the banking sector now. We still have a high figure of number of people that left the banking system because they were not able to, the banks were trying or struggling to cope, probably with salaries. So let's start with that.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you. We live in a system where we really don't know what we want. And this is not the fault of the youth. There is a systemic problem. There's a capacity problem that for a long time has been on and on and on. I'm a businessman. I travel the world. When you want to do business in the US, in a developed country, you don't go to the government. You go to the bank. The bank funds you.
That is in a developed
in
country.
a developed country.
Let us bring it down to
now
Nigeria.
we are talking about Nigeria.
Good. Now, if it's not the fault of the youths, it's a systemic failure
Yes.
or problem, like you said.
Yes.
Why was the youth given this kind of hasty judgments on?
I don't want you to.
If it's not the fault
I don't
of
want
the
you to
youth,
look at
why
the
did
fact
youth
that
hear that they are lazy?
a statement that is trending on social media is a judgment on the youth. No, I don't want you to look at it like that. I want you to be positive in thinking about the fact that if a statement that was a phrase that was taken out of a large statement by the youths, I can understand the youths are aggrieved, they are angry because they are wanting. It's natural. Somebody who is wanting is angry. Sometimes somebody who is wanting a little statement, even when it is well-intentioned and well-meant by the person who is making the
So you
statement,
keep
can
saying
annoy.
well-intentioned. I don't know where the good intentions of the statement.
I want
come out
the
from.
average urban poor to wake up like the village man. Abuja is not for all of us. My state capital is not for all of us. We can't all assume. I can tell you something. I am hardly in Abuja. Because all this shouting and hula baloo is in the city centers.
The statement was made to Nigerians.
Yes, and the people who really
everywhere,
yes,
across the globe. It wasn't restricted to people that stay in
who are
Abuja.
really assuming that they have been told the wrong thing are people who live in the city centers.
So that's not true. The social media is made up with people
everywhere. But I'm telling you, God, I wish we could have.
When the statement came up, it did not say the youths are lazy, especially those that live in Abuja. So
No,
it's
I
a global
understand.
thing.
I'm trying to make a statement to you.
Okay.
The issue of the youths are lazy should not be a problem to me and you. Are you lazy? I ask you a simple question. Are you lazy?
If that
you are a
should
youth
come
like
in,
me.
sir.
Are you lazy?
If that should come in,
I am not lazy.
Why was the statement made? That is the question.
When
Now, was it a mistake or was it intentional?
I said when something is taken, a phrase is taken out of a large context, is not something we should. This is the issue we have in Nigeria. We should look at the whole. It's only when we look at the whole we can find a way forward. If we are going to cherry pick, we will not get anywhere. Let's look at the whole and get the best and move ahead.
We are still saying the same thing, sir. Of course, we are discussing here and people are actually following up and sending a messages and all that. And the question they keep asking is, how justifiable is this statement?
The wonderful thing
now,
is...
you're talking about... Now, social media has power. All right? The truth is that there are so many Nigerians that didn't get to sit down to go through the whole statement.
Fantastic.
And that is why we must become careful what we say. Now, if an average Nigerian have said that, nobody will pick it as anything. So many people have said it, but why would the president, who have not given palliative measures according to the youth, come up to give such a statement out?
I am happy you said something that really interests me now. Some people have not even, some people it's hearsay. That's why I said, look at the whole. The fact is, many of my age mates are mentally lazy. They will not read. They will not go and search. Do you know the meaning of research? Research means to look again. If I am told that Uche said XYZ and it is documented, I should be able to go look at what Uche said since it is documented. I can assure you that most of this thing you are talking about, social media, it is forwarded what somebody said, not the actual statement.
Can we just take this call now? Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. What's the name of where you're calling from?
Good morning. This is Mr. Madi.
Okay.
Please.
We can hear you. Oh, we lost that call.
And the issue of social media. Social media is fantastic, but I can tell you something. I said, you live in Nigeria, you think American. Many of us who live in the city centers, who are so engrossed in this social media thing, don't even believe in what is happening. It is out of the fact that, look, I can't sit down and be doing some chatting when I have serious work to do.
Are you saying that this comment should have been ignored just to prove that people are
No. It's not. This is a democracy. This is the beauty of democracy. This is the wonderful aspect of democracy. Freedom of speech and expression. There's nothing wrong in people picking it up.
Sorry. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to call back. Hello.
Okay. Good morning.
Good Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. We can hear you.
I have a question.
Okay.
I was privileged.
Go on, we can hear you. We've lost that call again. Okay.
Nigerians will soon blame this on the APC government.
Sir,
Nigerians will soon blame this on Mr.
The
President.
truth is, when a government is in power, it happens, right?
Yes. No, it's
fine. Now the kind of blame game that the past administration got,
yes.
APC governments have not gotten it halfway, and I'm not sure they actually complain
because we are doing the right thing.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, we can hear you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Am I speaking to NCTV?
Yes, you are. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from here. I just want to comment on the program going on.
Okay.
Please, are you the presenter?
Yes, I am.
Hello?
Yes.
Did you really watch the president video that comes that the president said the Nigerian youth are lazy?
Yes, we did.
Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video?
We did. So, can you just go on and make your contribution on this? All your questions?
I'm just trying to make the contribution. The president is not saying Nigerian youth are lazy. I watched the video this morning on AIT. So please stop saying that the president said Nigerian Nigerian youth are lazy. I just watched it.
All right. Probably we can start.
If you want to substantiate the matter, go and watch the video.
Okay. All right. Now, before you actually hang on, probably you can go back to social media and probably make these corrections there. Thank you. Okay.
This is exactly what I just told you now. Somebody said, the president said, and it's forwarded. Many
social media.
Let me make you understand something. You assume social media has power, not in Nigeria. It is in the city centers where you have a lot of indolent people who will sit and refuse to check facts and then make comments. I am telling you, you are a TV personality.
Yes, sir.
Make a statement, even if it's wrong, put it on social media. People will not check the facts.
But this is the power of social media.
No. This is the power of social media in the assumed centers. This will not shake our base because we know Mr. President, like I keep telling you, will not make a statement that would affect Nigeria and Nigerians.
Okay, the statement was just made to...
I said you cannot, I told you one thing from the beginning. You can't pick a phrase from a whole context.
Now, listen. Yes, probably we'll want to watch the video out there now. Before the video comes up, can we just continue?
Yes. You understand what I'm saying? You can't pick a phrase from a whole context. And mind you, this is a democracy.
Listen,
we have an opposition.
Listen, sir.
And the opposition can go to any extent.
There has always been opposition.
Yes,
everywhere.
and we are so used to this type of opposition that it's not shaking our base. No, it's normal. We are not complaining.
You know, there was a statement I made before we picked that call. And the statement is, we had a party, all right, that was actually functioning before APC came on board. And we saw the kind of opposition they got from APC. So it's normal.
It's a very normal thing. You know, we are not. Have you had any APC person complain? This is a democracy.
This is party thing.
No, we are enjoying the fact that we are in a democracy and we are giving people ample opportunity to air their mind.
All right, can we just
yes,
take a look at that video?
A very young population. Our population is estimated conservatively to be 180 million. This is a conservative one. More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them haven't been to school, and they are claiming, that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country. Therefore, they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education free. We have a very young...
I'm really not sure we're able to get... Sorry, can we have a replay of that video again? Just to get that part of it.
We have a very young population. Our population is estimated conservatively to be 180 million. This is a conservative one. more than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them haven't been to school, and they are claiming, that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country, therefore they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education free.
All right. Thanks for that video there.
So
what is the difference with what we are saying and what's actually played out?
Semantics and language.
Semantics and language.
And like I was trying to tell you, this is a democracy. You have an opposition. Somebody takes something out of context and put it on the social media. People have not researched. People have not gone to look. This is what I was trying to tell you from the beginning. Thanks to that caller. And somebody just keeps sending and sending. It becomes the Gobel, the only minister of propaganda that ever existed in the world, said, a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. This is a lie.
Okay, it's a lie from what you saw now.
Is it a lie that the majority of our young people are not educated?
No.
No, I'm asking, is it a lie? It's not.
We're not going there.
Yes.
My question still remains, even at this point, is what has this administration done for this youth? They are actually seated and waiting for manna to come from above.
I wish, like I keep saying, I wish we will be positive in looking at the realities and possibilities that have been given to us and what we have.
Sorry, can we pick this up? Hello? Yeah, good morning. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from? Okay.
Now, I want to contribute.
Okay, sir.
I think it's the responsibility of the president and his way to provide that education.
Sir, please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you properly?
I've done that.
Okay.
I've done that.
Okay.
Now, question that the president needs to check the video very well. Question he was asked about the agitation of the youth.
Okay.
I want the government to control the trend of the agitation of the youth. I think our president should have addressed the question rather than cascading the youth as it were. He's our leader. And if we are talking about education of maybe our youth are educated, whose fault? Is it the fault of the youth? These are the questions we should ask our leader.
Sorry, were you able to get that question?
Yes.
Were you able to get the question? Can I rephrase it?
Yes.
Fine. Okay, sir. Hold on. Why he addressed the question? Now he's saying that if we have this fraction of people that, as he's saying, that are waiting for everything to happen, whose responsibility is it?
Fantastic.
Like,
No, this is. I am so happy that somebody like this is asking question. I was talking about something yesterday, the Constitution. I say you have exclusive list, you have what? Concurrent list and residual. Who is in charge of primary school education in the Constitution?
Sir.
No, we are getting. We are talking about education.
Sir,
you have.
When you are talking about a government, an administration, you're talking about a party.
Please, we are in a democracy.
Now, this is democracy.
Yes, we are in a democracy.
Every blame and success goes to the government.
Listen, please. I said we need to move from this our standpoint of thinking. We are in a democracy. We have a constitution. You have an exclusive list, concurrent list, and residual. The primary education is the prerogative of what? The local government.
Who heads the local government?
You have 3 tiers of government.
Sorry, hold on, sir.
You have 3 tiers of government. You have a local government chairman that gets his allocation at the end of every month.
The president should have addressed the local government chairman.
Thank you. What this man is saying is not about
addressing.
Yes, it's not. The issue is, you see, you have 3 tiers of government: residual, exclusive.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Sir. But the government should have addressed those tiers of government that are responsible to provide education, not the youth. Let them provide the education. The youth, Nigerian youth are so hardworking. They will be educated. They will be educated.
Thank you very much, sir, for calling.
This man understands
Actually,
fantastic
our time, our time is up. I don't know.
I want Nigerians to read. Please, this mental laziness, we need to remove it.
Okay.
We should stop looking at phrases from a statement.
Okay.
It's not the way forward. We should not be negative.
We are so sorry we can't take more calls. We've actually eaten deep into our time. And this cannot be a wrap to this program, sir. It can be a wrap to it because we are still having some people trying to make him pity, but we'll give away in the studio right now. We come back and then continue this program. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
All right, we'll come back. Now we have sports coming up shortly in 2 or 3 minutes. And then after sports, we'll come back and continue this discussion. Please stay glued to your TV station. It's NCTV's National Discourse. I am still Uche Uduma. Please hold on.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.